Take off! It's time for Doug and Ben's Great NASCAR Adventure!
It is indeed.
Yes.
It's time for that NASCAR adventure. I giggle every time. I don't know what's funnier, him or watching you conducting along every time.
Because I kind of know what's going to happen.
You kind of do.
Kind of do.
Well, welcome back to NasCanucks. I'm Ben. He's Doug. And we're going to do a season recap because that's easier than trying to cover 3 weeks worth of motorsports. And, that would be a lot of well, yeah.
I almost actually forgot about tonight because I was told that I was replaced.
I said for 1 week only.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Anywho's. So what? California, Vegas, Phoenix.
Yep.
Some weird rules. Let's just say you can't make a guy start the back of the field for switching to a backup car between race events. Because I don't know about you, but had I known that, if I was running the Xfinity Series in California, I would have wrecked everybody. Anybody that came up, doink, 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 and they would have all had to start the back the next week.
Yep.
Pretty much a guaranteed pole the next week. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Could do that, yeah.
Yeah. Or this lack of backup cars and, we just put the sheet in it and it could be anybody's car. No, it can't. Pedals need to be adjusted, things, ergonomics, everything. There's a familiarity when you slip into the cockpit. You go, it's Bessie. I know this car.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Who won California for Cup? That was the first win.
That'd be Kyle Busch. I know. I was able to make it back into Canada and at home in time to watch the end of the Trucks Run California, right, on the Friday night?
Possibly.
I remember.
Again, that's like 3 weeks ago. That's
all I remember is that I had to stay an extra day in the Dominican because there was snow.
Yeah.
And my ride didn't come to pick me up. So I had to wait.
There we are. Kyle Busch, which wasn't really a surprise because that car was competitive last year at that track, and that driver's competitive at pretty much every track. So it makes sense. And everyone's like, nobody should be shocked by this. And we also saw the last couple of weeks Kyle Busch shaking down colleagues' Xfinity cars, get a benchmark, which I don't know if anyone saw at the end of that, the last lap of this weekend's Xfinity race, but teammates got into something fierce.
Well, I think it's just that whole team that I didn't get to see anything today, but, I think they need to have a team meeting and say, hey, see these other 3 guys that are in the room here? They're your teammates. Don't wreck them.
Yeah. Well, and not only teammates in the current race, but former employer last year, right?
Yes.
Because it was Chandler Smith and Kyle Busch that got into it.
Yep.
So that was interesting. And then, I'm just going to say it. The Cup race on Sunday, that last caution, I did not want to see that happen. I wanted to see Harvick win the race.
Yep.
Win number 10. They put the stats up there. It was great. DW, he's won 10 races at 2 tracks, and Earnhardt won 10 races at this track, and Jimmy Johnson won 10 races, and then Rich Petty, 10 races at 5 different tracks.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but were some of those tracks run 2-3 times a year back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the Kenny Wallace stuff, Dennis, and hello to Dennis and Keith and Hip and Keith and Dennis and Hip and Keith and who else?
For Keith, no, the goatee did not get lost in luggage. I did the live spot on the mothership for the cornhole stuff last night, and so I thought
I'd shave.
Yeah, I think I'm at like 50,000 views for that right now, so I thought it might probably look good for that.
There we are, and also Charles 75N and SM Whitetree. according to Steve from Boston.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, confiscated parts this weekend. Some people were up in arms, Doug, because they're like, "How can you have illegal parts if you haven't brought your car in for inspection yet?" No, the moment it's in the garage area, it's under inspection.
Yes. Yep.
That's how that works. And but Hendricks, it wasn't just a colleague.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't think it was quite the same. It was like maybe colleague used the wrong bolts to secure the parts, whereas those parts shouldn't have been secured on the Hendrick cars in the first place. Like, well, we just massaged them a bit so they fit better. No, you can't do that. Not allowed.
No.
Go talk to Ross Sweater Vest up there. It doesn't matter which one, Hendrick or Gordon. They basically look the same now.
Yeah, and then I don't know if you want to talk about it later, but we've kind of glossed over the other big Hendrick news going into Vegas there.
Which was
the Golden Child.
Oh, with the broken yeah. Because let's go snowboarding on an off week.
How about the day before I'm supposed to be at the track? How about that?
Yeah.
But
not a smart idea. So we've had Josh Berry filling in for him on the circular base tracks.
Yeah, and then it's going to be
Jordan Taylor.
That'd be it.
Jordan? Yeah, one of the Taylor boys.
One of the Taylors, at Coda.
Yeah.
A whole slew of new people at Coda as well.
Oh yeah, Jensen Button, Jimmy Johnson just announced he's going to do the 600 and Coda.
Yeah. And as well as I keep hearing his second time in NASCAR, Kimi Räikkönen.
Or third.
Xfinity is NASCAR as well.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, the Xfinity warm-up race for the truck career that never happened.
Yes. Yep.
Hashtag, where's the money, perky jerky?
Exactly. So then, so Kyle Busch gets the win in California.
Yep.
I don't think who got the Xfinity win in California. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But then going into Vegas, the truck race, I had to correct some people, in my view, online. Because Kyle Busch wins the truck race, and you get... Kyle Busch, he's going and beating up on all the kids. Okay, well, Grant Enfinger and Matt Crafton are both older than Kyle. And the best thing about it was, and I'm not going to name this person, but they're a Ross Chastain fan.
Who was also in
the race, yeah.
Now, would he have felt the same had his boy won the race?
I was told yes.
I call bullshit.
Yeah,
because everybody likes to see their driver win.
Yes, yeah, and as we've said before, these guys that are bringing these big names into their truck or into their Xfinity team, that helps pay for one of those vehicles for the year.
Well, no. Well, yes and no. On some occasions, yes, because of a sponsor, but more often than not, it's just to shake down the vehicle. It's less sponsor driven, I've noticed the last few years, which is awesome. It is more.
I think for the two teams we're talking for KBM, having Kyle in that truck, that pays for truck.
But that's the same as junior riding in a car. That's different. That's owner driver. You can't count owner driver as opposed to someone evaluating for another team.
Kelly Earnhardt has even said having Dale in that car for one race, one of their lesser cars, that pays for that car for the year.
Yeah, you can't compare the two though. It's completely different circumstances.
Yeah.
That's what I say. But and it's not the same with Young Gibbs and the Gibbs equipment. It's not the same. But yeah, and because of the Louver situation, it's like I don't know, that 24 team had a premonition, so they've just been winning all the races.
Well, you go even before that. You got that Kyle Larson gets the pole.
Yep,
right
by a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching the qualify. He's been laying down some crazy laps, like reminding me of the 24 in the 90s, where also, we're just going to paste 4/10 on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I smell cheating. I believe it's a DuPont product. Put on the tires. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Are those scales or 4 laptops under the wheels for balance?
Well, that one wasn't at the team at that point, was he? Don't know.
He was a Rainbow Warrior.
But then looking back at the Vegas Cup race as well.
Yep. Which I enjoy that track.
Yeah, I
didn't
was
like it, but now that it's old, it's better.
Well, the ending of that race, I was not happy, but I was pleased. If that
like in the 24, he was the car as much.
Well, you know what? As a Truex fan, we haven't seen those gambles made in a while.
No,
and even Martin said he had to make that gamble, right? Just to stay.
Well, it's like same thing we heard with Harvick there. Do you regret putting on 4 tires? He says, "Nope, that's what I would have done."
Yep. So,
how about the performance we're seeing in RFK racing this year?
Oh, I know. I'm not sure we talked about that last year. That need to have like a year under.
Oh yeah,
with BK there, and then we thought that that would then propel that team to then start.
I figured based off last year that Buescher would continuously outperform BK because BK on backside of career, fine, whatever, but not this year. It's Brad that's up there just as much, if not more.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is good to see, because that team needs some fresh energy for sure. And and then, and then so it's good. It's interesting how shaking out. Should we talk about the boneheaded move of the year thus far? If you wreck a guy on purpose, don't talk about it on your podcast.
Well, we can talk about this weekend. I didn't get a chance. I recorded, didn't get a chance to watch the ARCA race. You got that young kid making the big move at the end to win that.
Yeah.
Then into the Xfinity race this weekend, where you've got the.
Before that kid won the race, he also punted the leader out of the way in the previous restart attempt. So that was a much better car. So let's.
But then, as we talked about, Junior Motorsports once again. All 4 cars getting involved with each other at some point.
That's like a magnetic situation or something. It's not like they're all losing it, losing their cool and taking each other out. It's,
Well, you have to wonder. At one point, they went into Algire's radio, and he was saying, he's doing the best he can with people who have no idea how to drive. Are you talking about your teammates, or are you talking about?
I think he'd be first of all talking about the one car because as much as Sam Mayer's got all this apparent upside, I'm like, I don't know. He's kind of a Ricky Stenhouse. He's going through a lot of equipment in 2+ years at this point. So, Josh Berry is not a dirty driver. Josh Berry gets caught up in stuff. Same as Allgaier. Like if those two get into each other, it's not on purpose. No. And Jones, I don't know, like he's been struggling this year. So, but again, new team. So I get that, but like you see him here and there, but he seems to be the odd man out this year so far, performance wise. At least in my eye, whether the finish, it doesn't matter what the finishes say because, like say, half the time they all get taken out anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I think for that Xfinity race this past weekend, I think the performance I was most impressed with was Truex finishing second.
Well, it's funny because I'm watching that race and I'm like, this kid's got, he's got to put up or shut up in the career at this point. Like, this is like, you've had a lot of chances at here and there, and I know it's hard to step away and get back in.
When he gets in the cars, he's always running up front, but he's only getting like 5 or 6 race deals.
I wouldn't say always running up front. He's been in a lot of equipment that doesn't run up front too.
Yeah, but he hasn't been in a car since July.
Yeah, what's up? Oh, good to see you.
Although he's got the new look, which and some of these social media posts, I thought I was like, what's Corey LaJoie doing in the Xfinity series?
Right. No, I thought my first thought is, so are you playing an extra in every country music video these days?
But maybe that's what he needed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, okay, sure. Yeah. What's up, Keith?
And then Sammy Smith getting the win.
Yeah.
Win.
He's got talent. We know, and especially in that, okay, let's not crown Cole Custer as the automatic Xfinity champ, because Sammy Smith's going to have something to say about it, because he's the hot kid in the hot ride, and there's always a hot kid in the hot ride each year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has Cole Custer dominated the series? No. He's again shown flashes here and there, which, okay, you're a veteran. That's your job. You should be.
Just because he dominated me in a Dizzy Bat race doesn't mean he's going to dominate in the Xfinity series.
Well, and this whole, okay, and Riley Herbst is not a 17-year-old up-and-comer.
No, he may look
He's been in the series for years.
Yes, if you look at him, he may look like that.
Long. This is the slowest developing driver I've ever seen. He's pretty good, but he ain't great. And guess what? He's maxed out in this series.
He's another guy that he's been in Gibbs equipment before, right? Yeah. And if you can't do anything in Gibbs Xfinity equipment
or Haas equipment, because both Chase and Cole were pretty dominant before they moved up.
Yeah. So
I can't say if they won titles or not, because Gibbs always has quality equipment. So. Mm-hmm. And it is always down to those 2 or 3 drivers, and it's a fucking crapshoot anyways, for a championship as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Says not do that. Not do that. Not just hand the title to. Although, who are so far, let's say, in the Xfinity series, because, like I said, going into Daytona with Gibbs and Gragson gone. That's a huge void in the series.
Mm-hmm.
What's that? A third of the races, basically, between the two of them. I think they won a third of the races last year or whatever. Yep. So, I'm looking at you, Algar. Are you going to have your breakout year and, do what, you're supposed to be doing there? Which he is. He's not, really, wily veteran type. As long as you make it into the final 4 or even the top 8. Top 8.
The guy right now who's won half the races, sure the boy had 4, but it's been Austin Hill.
Yep.
In the RCR equipment.
Yep. Which again, it seems like they always put some funding in, but not necessarily all the funding, and which I think is a Chevrolet funding issue, as much as anything else. But we're back with what he has, a solid 2-car operation, with Sheldon Creed and Austin Hill behind the wheel. I'm not the biggest Sheldon Creed fan. Honestly, I think he kind of maxed out in trucks, but whatever. But he has flashes of goodness and makes bad decisions on occasion, kind of like Austin Hill. But Austin Hill has that hungriness, and I forget who. I think it was Danica that even said it. That guy is, he's an RCR driver. He should be driving for that organization. And he seems like if he came into the garage, and just ripped the head off a chicken and started eating it. Okay, sure, I believe it. He seems they like manly men up there. Is what I'm saying, Doug. We walked around the place.
Yeah,
I felt like I was in a Bass Pro Shops. And
Yep.
that was just the lobby.
Yep.
It's a very outdoorsy, manly man operation, and he fits in quite well with it. He's a big guy.
Yep.
So, and I don't know, is that because he has potential. If the money comes up, do you start a third Cup team? Although with the charter, see, that seemed obvious in the past, Doug. Austin Hill, let's say, this year, next year in Xfinity, and then, Bob's Cola wants to get in NASCAR, and here's a check. Okay, we'll start a third Cup team for Austin Hill. But now, do you? Because the charter system being what it is, do you?
Yep.
So,
yeah,
there's that. Trucks are trucks. Zane Smith so far for me, he's because he's just continuing to mature, and he's getting the the laps in the Cup car this year.
So Truck Series announcement made today. I'm not sure if you've seen it.
Probably not.
KBM for 3 races in the 51 truck. William Byron making his return to KBM with a HendrickCars.com sponsorship for those 3 races.
I dig it, because he did stuff in the truck, so that's cool. He's
back with KBM.
Yeah, and that too. But
and so he'll be running at 3 tracks that he's never ran at before in the truck.
Nice.
Being the Bristol Dirt Race.
Okay.
Trying to think the other one that he didn't run at. Oh, Darlington. And he hasn't raced at North Wilkesboro either. He'll be in that race.
No kidding.
I know. I was kind of like, I think most of the drivers are going to.
No, I'm just thinking to myself, has Matt Crafton run at North? Because that's really the only person you have to think of. Has Matt Crafton?
Crafton and Enfinger.
I guarantee they may have both run late model events there.
Maybe. But I think I'm going to say the rest of the drivers in that field probably weren't born the last race there.
No, none of them were born the last time they raced there, because that would be 27 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Average age is probably around 27, and we know the outlier like Crafton just sucks up the whole median like by 1 whole point himself.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Trucks, it's pretty wide open so far in trucks, and we have the dedicated truck guys for the truck, which is like your Stuart Friesens, your Matt Craftons,
Mm-hmm.
I think Zane Smith seems to be, Carson Hocevar, he's going to win. He's going to win.
Yep.
Still don't know how he fits in one of those trucks, but I couldn't do it.
I seen something
up, is around his ears or something.
I seen something today. Now I wish I could remember it. He will be in I want to say an Xfinity or a Cup car for an upcoming race.
Who?
Hocevar.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Zane Smith. I'm like, yeah, that's been announced. He's doing 5 races.
Yeah. No, Hocevar.
Yeah. How do you like? Who was that? Todd Killen got kicked out of his ride for the weekend, so Zane Smith takes it over, and you get to drive for Rick Ware Racing. He's like, I don't want to drive for Rick Ware Racing.
Yeah. Well, there's been a couple times now. Was it not Daytona? He got kicked out for Zane Smith as well.
Yep, it's quite funny, and yet still only 36 cars in the race. Come on.
And we've only got 36 for Atlanta this weekend.
Right, and that's not exactly far to travel, which is generally the usual cop-out in years past, because start parks are like, oh, it's too far to go. But, yeah, come on, if you don't know your sport's dying or there's something wrong with it, when you can't, all you get is the charters with the guaranteed money,
well,
that tells you the system's broken.
And you said something earlier about penalties and the rules and stuff that are going on. So I thought this year they were changing some of the uncontrolled tire rule and all that their stuff. That
They have to a point. There's a discretion.
Only if that tire interferes with something. So what? Kyle Busch had one that rolled like 5 feet away from the car. That was like alone for maybe like 2 seconds with no one else around.
Right.
The jackman or whoever it was grabs it, rolls it back towards the thing, and then they get penalized for the loose wheel. Right.
I suppose the broken wheel that the 10 car had.
Yeah.
We won't give you a penalty. It broke. That's not our problem. Manufacturing defect much?
Yeah.
So,
but I've got to say that if the year end race is going to be like the one we had in Phoenix here this weekend,
mm-hmm.
I'm not sure we want to have that final race at Phoenix because it was just a boring race.
Can we move the damn start finish line back to the middle of a fucking straightaway?
Or that line, like what? Everyone's going to cut that corner. So just what, bring it down and make it like a 10.
Yeah, and everyone's cutting it away, but what? At most a car length. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares if you dip down 15 feet further on the track? How about we stop dipping down? Because I think that's ridiculous anyways.
Yeah.
Because that's the total selfish me first. Like, I'm going to cut across. You better allow me back on. I better not.
Yep.
I'm on the racing line. I don't know where you are. You're in the infield camping area as far as I'm concerned.
And I don't know if you've seen the start of the races there. It's just having that lone little stage in that big frickin' area just looked dumb. Right? We've always seen stuff in the front stretches where they're haulers and stuff or whatever for the pre-race ceremonies. They look like they're filling up the place, right? But that there was just absolutely asinine.
That was at Daytona, Dennis. I believe that was the first ever truck race at Daytona, as I recall. All right. Well, looking ahead to Atlanta, since we're basically a half hour in. Wow, we got 11 people watching. Please leave a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. Who do you like at Atlanta?
Do you know what? I think I'm gonna have to go with Colleague Racing on this one.
Ooh,
for the Cup Series, because he's had his resurgence at Atlanta the last 2 years in the Xfinity Series. I think I got to go with the Dinger.
Okay. I was thinking Kevin Harvick. He's good at Atlanta,
but it could with the way Atlanta is now after the repave. It's now a super speedway, so it could be anybody.
But still, bottom feeder wins there, and Harvick can still zing around there. I'd pick Kurt Busch if he was still racing. Because
Kurt Busch to be inducted into the West Coast Motorsports or something like that Hall of Fame.
Nice. See Ron Hornaday out at the track last weekend too.
Mm-hmm.
He's coaching a driver, kind of helping out. Atlanta should be fun. And we're not back next week because you still have a week of.
Yep. Week of that. Yep.
So we will recap and then preview and stuff like that. So whatever's after Atlanta, I don't know.
Is it Coda?
Is it Coda next?
Is it?
I suppose we could look it up, but
I'd take out.
If it's Coda, hope it rains. It's not that it's a bad race, but man, it makes it a lot more interesting when it rains.
Yeah.
And especially now we got the mud flaps on the cars and stuff. Like I say, and plus it's a different car. Let's be honest, it's a different car. Right?
Yeah.
And that too. I was kind of hoping it was going to rain last weekend too, because in theory we're going to run rain tires on an oval. I'm like, I want to see this shit show for what it is.
Now they had the wipers on the Xfinity cars, did they not? But they didn't have them on the Cup cars.
Yes, the rules are you can remove them in the Cup Series. Obviously, if it starts raining and you go to rain mode, you have to put it on.
Yep.
Also, you may have noticed they were all vertical. No more this or this or no, vertical.
Yep.
And it looked like you were flipped around even.
Kind of, yeah.
You know, the way that you could see from the in-cars and stuff. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. But then for Atlanta this weekend, because it is NASCAR.
Yeah.
And we do like the storylines.
Yes.
Well, I guess, yeah, he's not going to be back. I was going to say, it wouldn't be Chase Elliott to get a possible win, but he's not going to be back in time.
No, he will not be back.
Could it be a miracle in the car, last minute? Put him in.
Just to start the race?
Yep.
Yeah, if these cars are so interchangeable, why don't we have driver changes anymore? Oh, because it's not safe to drive with a damn cast on your leg. That's right.
Yeah.
Look at you, Darrell Waltrip. I only have 2 broken legs. I can still drive. No, you can't.
Yeah.
It's like accelerating with his hips or something. I don't know how he was doing that. 2 broken legs. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So this was fun, as it is. I don't think there was any other news notes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think as well also. But I can't. I know there was probably something I'm thinking and missing.
I like the fact that Jimmy Johnson's already adding on to his schedule.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think he felt pressure once Jensen, Button, and Raikkonen came on.
Yeah. Can we actually have qualifying where cars go home? I'm just saying. Can we have 41 cars show up? I know it's going to be BJ McLeod that goes home, but still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the next race is the March 26th is at Circuit of the Americas.
There we go. Hey, we can go stay at Charles's house. Charles lives there. He's right outside of the track or something. I don't know. Maybe he lives on the backstretch. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? He would have mentioned that. Plus, he has better weather. He was telling 80 degrees the other day. I'm like, why are you wearing shorts? He says, because it was 80 today.
I had that the other week.
Yeah, but it takes more of it now, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
Got anything else?
I've got nothing else. I'm getting messaged by our opener, but I'll see what he wants.
Oh, he's like, quit impersonating. We're not impersonating anything. You agreed to do that.
It may have been like 4:30 in the morning when it happened, but hey.
Details.
Mm-hmm.
All right, he's been Doug. I've been Ben. This has been NasCanucks.
Give us one time. Just watch the finger. See you, Marcus.